Hello and welcome to CKE 10,001's gaming channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my JoJo Part 5 Team Bucciarati deck profile, English edition. In this deck build, I run 14 level 0s, 13 level 1s, 4 level 2s, 11 level 3s, and 8 climax cards. There is another variation of this that you can play, the 8 wind deck, but I prefer the book trigger because it pluses. So the first 0 we're going to take a look at is Gang Newcomer Journal. I'm running this at 1 copy. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. If all your characters are golden win, this card gets plus 1000 power. The second effect is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a climax. If you do, choose a golden win character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it's a nice filter for the second effect. Then I'm also running 1 copy of Awaken Power SL at 1 copy. It has 1 effect, auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1 stock, put 1 golden win character from your hand into your waiting room. If you do, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from alone, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So I'm running 1 copy just to help get the climax card into your hand if you're missing it for your climax combo. Then I'm running 2 copies of Fear of Shrinking for Maggio and TF. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, all characters on your opponent's center stage get minus 500 power until the end of turn. The second effect is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1 stock, discard a card. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 golden win character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So you can tutor out your level 1 combo or your early play. Any golden win character you need, you can add to your hand. It's a kind of just a generic tutor. And then I'm running 3 copies of Movements in the Future, Doppio and You. This card has been errated, so the effect on the card itself is not correct. The correct effect is at the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a level 1 or higher card, you may return this card to your hand. So the card does not have to be a character. It just needs to be a level 1 or higher card. So that's its effect. It's really your only way to plus at level 0 since this deck isn't running using any runners. Then I'm running 3 copies of the Yellow Brainstormer, Seeker of Truth Journal. It has 2 effects. The first is activate, pay 1 stock, choose 1 cost 0 or lower character on your opponent's center stage and return it to his or her hand. The second effect is the activate Brainstorm, pay 1 stock, rest this card, flip over 4 cards from the top of your deck, put them into your waiting room. For each climax revealed among those cards, you can search your deck for up to 1 golden win character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's a tutor Brainstormer. And I'm running it at 3 copies. Then I'm running 2 copies of Choosing His Own Path, Naranja. It has 2 effects. The first is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, if you have 2 or more other golden win characters, you may draw a card. If you do, choose a card in your hand and put it into your waiting room. So it's a filter outlet. The second effect is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into the waiting room. If there is a climax among those cards, choose 1 character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets minus 1000 power until end of turn. The second effect is mandatory. You have to do it. It's not may. But it does help your level 1 combo get the reverses it needs for that extra minus of 1000 power to your opponent's character. Then the last 0 I'm running is 2 copies of Guiding Fate Trish. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. If you have 2 or more other golden win characters, this card gets plus 1000 power. The second effect is auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do, choose a golden win character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So it's salvaging Ricky. And then I'm running 3 copies of the promo card, Pioneer of Fate Journal. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous. During your turn, all your other characters get plus 500 power. The second is activate, rest this card, choose 1 of your characters, and that character gets plus 1000 power until end of turn. You use this promo to pump power to your level 1 Bucciarati to help it get over your opponent's cards to get the verse it needs. So yeah, that's why that card is in the deck. Then I'm running 3 copies of Sudden Fury Fugo. It also has a power pump effect. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can choose one of your Golden Wind characters, and that character gets plus 1500 power until the end of turn. You can use that power to give it to himself. So it's a 1/0 6k to go over opponent's cards, or you can use it to pump up the level 1 combo to get the reverse it needs. Then I'm running 3 copies of the blue event card, Key to the Safe Vehicle. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. Choose up to 1 level X or lower Golden Wind character in your waiting room. Return it to your hand. X equals to the total level of the cards put into your waiting room by this effect. So it's a way of salvaging in this deck. And the 1 looks the top 4, and the 0 tutors, and the key salvages. So you have ways of getting the cards from different areas. Then the level 1 combo is Noble Resolutions Bucciarati. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, this card gets plus 1500 power until the end of turn. The second effect is the Auto Climax combo. When this card's battle opponent becomes reverse, if the Sound of Farewell is in your climax area, look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Golden Wind character from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. Then you can choose one of your characters, and that character gets plus 2000 power until the end of turn. So yeah, that's why I run that promo, to get this more power, to get the first reverse, and then it'll kind of snowball for the other ones. And then I'm running 4 level 2s. They're all 1-ofs. The first card we're going to take a look at is Rebelling Against Fate Bucciarati. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a climax. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters, put it into your opponent's memory, and then at the beginning of the Encore step, your opponent puts that character from your opponent's memory on any position of his or her stage. The second effect is when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent has level higher than your opponent's level, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck. And yeah, so this kind of helps deal with 2 things early play at once. You get the free soul on the first ability, and then the second ability helps get rid of a card permanently to the bottom of opponent's deck. Then I'm running the Trial Deck Mista card. Try to focus on that a bit. It's hard to read. There we go. Accurate Shot Mista. It has 2 effects. The first is Continuous Assist. All your characters in front of this card get plus X power. X equals to that character's level times 500. The second effect is being a climax swapper. Then I'm running 1 copy of Resourceful Assassin from Maggio. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 1 extra stock, put a character from your stage into your waiting room, and then choose one of your opponent's characters that are higher than your opponent's level and put into his or her waiting room. Then your opponent chooses up to 1 level 0 or lower character in his or her waiting room and put it on the stage. So it's essentially an early play backup punisher. And then my last 1-of is Golden Dream JoJo and Bucciarati. It's a backup card. When you use this card's backup, reveal the top card of your deck. If that is a Golden Wind character, put it into your hand, choose a card in your hand, and put it into your waiting room. So it helps dig 1 card deeper to hopefully get the block you need when your opponent's attacking you. So yeah, so that's the last level 2. Then for level 3s, I'm running 4 copies of Final Form GWR, Golden Wind Requiem. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand or by the act ability of the one chosen by Giorno, you may discard a card. If you do, put the top card of your clock into your stock, so it's a stock healer. The second effect is the climax combo. When this card frontal attacks, if this World's Truth is in your climax area, this card gets the following ability until the end of turn. Auto, at the beginning of your Encore step, you can pay 3 stock. If you do, perform the following action 2 times, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This card is errated, but that's because there's an extra quotations in the climax name. But it does work. Then I'm running 3 copies of the early play Soul's Will Bucciarati. It has 3 effects. The first is if your waiting room has 2 or less climax cards, gets -1 level while in your hand. The second effect is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room, so it's a healer, early play healer. The third effect is auto. During your opponent's turn, when this card becomes reverse in battle, you may pay the cost, which is discard a card. If you do, rest this card. And then at the beginning of your next Encore step, put it into your waiting room. So it comes back for at least 1 more turn. to get your attack, and then it disappears. It's kind of flavorful that way. Then I'm running 2 copies of Ariel Hunter Naranja. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, put the top 5 cards of your deck into your waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X equals to the number of climaxes amongst those cards. Second effect is activate, pay 1 stock, choose 1 character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets minus 1000 power until end of turn. I mainly use this card's effect for the first effect. The second effect isn't really as helpful since this deck doesn't build a lot of stock. Then I'm running 1 copy of the Path Ahead Journal. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand. The second effect is when this card attacks, you can discard 2 cards and ping 1 damage to your opponent. And then I'm running 1 copy of, let me focus in on that a bit, Smoke of Death Fugo. It has 2 effects. Continuous. If all your characters are golden wind, this card gets plus 1000 power. The second effect is during your turn, when this card's battle pump becomes reversed, you can discard 2 cards. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent. And then the last 8 cards are the climax cards. I'm running 4 copies of the World's Truth for the level 3 combo. Yeah, there it is. There's the wind or bounce trigger for level 3. And I'm running 4 copies of the book trigger, The Sound of Farewell. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Check encoredex.com and the link in the description below to see an overview of this deck build and the variation of the 8 wind version as well.